हैं आपको फिक्की, जहां पर केंद्रीय वित्त मंत्री अरुण जेटली अपना संबोधन दे रहे हैं।
But when it's made a substantial and a significant headway, the change itself will be visible. The apprehensions, the fears need to be eliminated. And the discretions will have to be made to disappear. The personal contact, the human contact between the department and the assessee, now with the kind of reform CBDT has undertaken, is also gradually getting reduced. Overwhelmingly large number of returns are now filed online, very few are filed otherwise offline. Last year we launched a scheme that every query need not result in a scrutiny, and therefore queries can be addressed online, the answers can come online. The orders are now being dispatched online, the refunds are also available at home. An effort has been made to also make sure that the time period for issuing the refunds itself is significantly reduced. And if you look at the overall approach that we've had, we also want this habit which had developed to gradually end, as to whether an assessee's mindset persuades him to believe that he can either evade or avoid the payment of tax. Eventually both lead to the same. Is extremely small, and this is partly because of the fact that agriculture is exempt and probably will remain exempt. There are not too many families which have more than one assessee, except for the exceptions that we have in the urban areas. The TDS system has brought more people into the tax net. Otherwise, the number of those voluntarily filing tax returns was still lower. And now with between the two of them, those who file the returns and those who through the TDS mechanism come within the tax net, you are still at around 5.5 crore people. And if we look at what's happening in the rest of the world, in most developed countries, there is a fear of law. There is also a feeling that taxes which are payable must be paid. In most areas, our rates are also fairly competitive. And if we look at the approach that we are trying to follow, and if I start counting out and narrating the steps, one of the objects behind the 2015 black money law was to give an opportunity to assessees to comply. And therefore, the grossest of default of having undeclared assets outside the country, rather than straight away punish people, give them a compliance opportunity. We did that. Some people made use of that opportunity. And I can tell you with almost certainty, those who didn't have taken a big risk, because this is one area the world is opening out now. It's opening out because of the G20 initiative. It's opening out because the US domestic law, which now like a net is getting prevalent all over the world. And if you have real-time sharing of information, finding out details is not going to be very difficult. And those who missed the bus have certainly missed a lot. We had other problems. We have, to the extent it was possible, tried to give various options to the assessees, either through ending their litigation or through settlement scheme, sort out the very few large disputes of retrospective taxation which have been brought in by the previous government. We have been trying to gradually maintain the stability of the tax policy. And one of the efforts is that corporate tax must be brought down to globally competitive rates, because assessees world over are going to look into at every jurisdiction before investing. Why should they invest in jurisdiction where they have to pay higher rates of taxation?
आप देख रहे थे विक्की से सीधा प्रसारण, जहां पर वित्त मंत्री अरुण जेटली इनकम डिक्लेरेशन स्कीम पर अपना संबोधन दे रहे थे और